Good day, everybody. Welcome to Living Life in Joy. Happy Sunday, happy June. I am Rev Melissa, and this is Living Life in Joy. I am an interfaith minister. I am a religious science practitioner. I'm the spiritual director and senior minister at Rockland Centers for Spiritual Living, and I am a spiritual life coach. And all of that and so much more is my ministry of joy, where I support people in living life in joy, connected to their yes. And so this show, Living Life in Joy, is a vehicle, a vessel for me to connect with people who are connected to their yes, and to give them the opportunity to share what gives them joy in the world and what they are doing, like what are they up to in life. So we're in a new month, which means we have a new focus. May was phenomenal. We had amazing women for the month of May. So if you missed any of May, go back and watch the replay on my YouTube channel at iamrevmelissa. But June is a whole bunch of things happen in June. So for me, June is like a really fun month because there's a lot of celebrations with graduations and things happening. It's also Pride Month. So happy Pride Month. We celebrate fathers in June. I think Flag Day is in June. So there's a lot of stuff happening in June. And I want to take a moment just to give a shout out to my brother Daryl. Today is his birthday. And my other brother, David's birthday is on Thursday. And then I have uncles who have birthdays in June. So lots of things to celebrate in June. But what we are specifically celebrating here on Living Life in Joy this month is Black Music Month. Black Music Month. And I have an amazing guest to kick us off for our Black Music Month celebration. So, without further ado, I want to say, let's go, set, ready. All right, we're back. Welcome again to Living Life in Joy. I am Rev Melissa. And so it is my pleasure and honor to introduce our guest today. His name is Marko Nobles. And it's not a coincidence that we have the same last name because he is my husband and he is returning for the second year to curate our Black Music Month episodes. So here's a little bit about my husband. Marko Nobles is an experienced professional in the fields of radio, PR, marketing, events production, and entertainment. Marko is also an entrepreneur. He created his company, Enjoy Enterprises, in 2004, with his wife, Melissa, me. And the company is now a multi-service business that provides consulting services in the area of PR, promotions, marketing, event production, event management, and coordination. So that's his part of the business. Enjoy also creates and produces concerts and entertainment related to events, a weekly radio program called Rhythm and Soul Radio that airs on WHCR 90.3 in New York City. And he owns and operates a 24-hour urban electric internet radio station, rhythmandsoulradio.com. Marko has worked in commercial radio with Y107 FM and WWRL AM in New York City and at a public radio station, WRVO FM in upstate New York. He has also served as executive director of Harlem Week, Inc., one of the Northeast's largest summer festivals, and currently serves as a second vice chairman of the Harlem Week board of directors. So without further ado, please welcome to Living Life in Joy, my husband and creator of Rhythm and Soul Radio, Marko Nobles. Hello.
So I guess I'm stepping from behind the curtain.
Hi, Marko Nobles. How are you?
Hello, Rev Melissa.
So you got some shout outs already from Tim, who's watching the show live.
All
He says,
right.
welcome, my brother Marko. Thank you for being with us, Tim. So let's get right into it. So, thank you, first of all, for agreeing to curate Black Music Month again. You did it with me last year, and I really appreciate it. And so you are returning this year to do it again. And so let's start with why Black Music Month is so important.
Well, Black Music Month is important because it's a celebration of all the music that is the foundation of all music. When you look at Black music, when you look at all music, it really starts, in terms of the drums and Africa, and it really becomes the basis of everything from R&B to jazz to soul to hip hop to country to whatever it is. So it's all Black music. So to have this 1 month to celebrate it, it's like a lot of our holidays. Mother's Day is not just one day. Our birthday celebrations is not just one day. But but and similarly, Black Music Month is not just 1 month, but to have that 1 month to really showcase and highlight the importance of Black music is a great thing.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. And so I know that music is dear and deep in your heart. And you have on your shirt there, rhythmandsoulradio.com. So tell us about rhythmandsoulradio.com and let's say your testimony to get to that point.
Um, rhythmandsoulradio.com is a 24-hour internet radio station that I created um, out of doing, as you mentioned, a weekly radio show on WHCR. When I started that show, I've always wanted to do radio. When I was in college, I did the college radio station. As you mentioned, I worked in radio and while I was in college at a public radio station, and then eventually afterwards working at country radio station Y107 and WWRL, one of the legacy stations. And I always liked the idea of doing more than just being on air. And that was where it started. Most of us, when you get in the radio, you think about being a disc jockey or whatever. But I like the idea of doing more than just playing the music. So as I learned more about radio, I decided it'd be awesome if I was to be able to own a radio station. That costs an awful lot of money. Um, so I had to look at a different way to do it. And when I started the process, internet, it's weird to say in like 2004, 2005, 2006, the internet was just really being a thing. Like really, really. I mean, it was there before, but to be able to have an internet radio station was more possible.
Mhm.
So I figured that would be an interesting path, and to be able to showcase music and artists that didn't get a regular chance to be heard on traditional radio. So when I was doing the weekly radio show, at the time I was doing it twice a week. Now I do it once a week. Um, but even at twice a week, a couple hours, each time, there wasn't enough time for all the music that I started discovering. So it was like if I can create a station and have a 24-hour portal for artists to have their own space where they know they can have their music played and they know they can get support. That would be a great thing. So that that kind of jump started me to really kind of go through the process of creating a 24-hour internet radio station that hopefully when people listen sounds close to, as I say, real radio, because that's
Mhm.
always been the goal.
Yeah. And I know that independent artists and independent music that artists create is really important for you,
Hmm.
and is part of your emphasis is to have that platform for independent artists. Why is that so important for you?
I think part of it is selfish. I think a lot of us, listen to the radio. We say, they play the same 10 songs over and over. So, so part of it is me um, wanting to kind of break out of that. Part of it is just seeing the talent that's out here in the world, and being able to see, you know, artists who are sharing their gifts, but don't have the place to share those gifts as much as they would like, and the purity of the music, where in commercial music, a lot of times it's not as pure. It's corporate driven. It's focus groups decide what gets heard and what
Hmm.
doesn't, and you know um and it becomes more cookie cutter,
Hmm.
where independent music, independent artists, really come from a space, within the heart, within their souls, that they're really giving themselves, and then being able to watch them over their careers kind of expand and grow and build themselves. It's just a very organic experience that I've come to really enjoy. It's become really special.
Yeah. And I think when I think about independent artists these days, I think about it, and you could tell me if it's starting to evolve in this way. Because I think at one point when we thought about independent artists, we thought about artists who weren't signed with the big um what are they called?
Labels, record.
Labels. Thank
Mhm.
you. So who aren't signed with big labels. But I think more so now, independent artists are artists who are owning their music and artists who are putting out music themselves versus going through, you know, a label. Even if they're with a label, the importance of being independent is evolving.
Absolutely. I think now, whereas when I started getting into this independent music space, um, it was about, signed versus unsigned or whatever. Um, but it has certainly become more of the business of owning your music, doing your music yourself, um, and I think what has a big shift has been, artists who have been signed to labels, but are no longer signed and now are called independent artists.
Hmm.
Um, and while they are to a degree, for me they aren't, because they've been able to have the ability to use that machine to get themselves out there a little bit, versus other artists who have to completely build themselves from the ground up, you
Mm-hmm.
know, um, and really connect with fans and really kind of build their following in a different way. And that's not to take away from any artist who has been signed and now independent. It's just a different sense of work that goes into being an independent artist, that does it all the way independently from beginning to to where they are. But they're both extremely valuable,
Hmm.
and they're both important, to the genre. So it is, a lot of it is about owning your music, and being able to, put out your own music, and make it happen. Um, you know, and there are different paths for that.
Yeah. I keep thinking about Marco and I are huge fans of the show Atlanta. And I keep thinking about Paperboy, right? As a example of an independent artist. And one of the episodes, it might have been the last episode, I'm not sure, where Paperboy asks Earn
Mm,
if he owns his masters, right? And Ern says, yeah, you know? So
right.
that's being independent, right? That's being owning your
Yes.
work and knowing your worth
Hmm.
is an indication of that of why it's so necessary and crucial that artists are independent. And one of our favorite artists, Prince, really set the path to really highlight why that is so important.
Yes, absolutely. And like the show Atlanta and Paperboy situation is um and Prince to a degree is an interesting example of that the artist who gets a level of fame but then understands the importance of still being independent within that fame. Um, Whereas Paperboy, his character, becomes popular, and the implication is that he is now signed to a label, but the importance of still being able to own his own masters, is highlighted in that episode. And Prince, as you mentioned, you know, as an example of what I mentioned earlier, an artist who, had that major label success. Of course, Prince is extreme with his success, but then, was no longer on a label and then was doing it independently. And his independence was, really taking the music to the fans. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't, there was no more machine making sure his single got played or determining when which single was going to be released. He just did his own music, put it out, owned it, went straight to the fans.
Yeah.
And then you have a number of artists who are certainly not able to come up in that space, but still, but now figure out how they're gonna make their own music. They're gonna book their own studio time. They're going to, work with other people to create their music. They're gonna find they're gonna press their CDs. They're gonna get X amount made. They're gonna sell them at their shows and all of that. Out of the trunk of their cars, out of the part of the merch table at their shows, whatever it is.
Hmm.
Uh, and so it's really kind of ownership of your music and your career.
Yeah.
In terms of how you kind of build yourself and how you present your music directly to the people.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, speaking of directly to the people, you have a couple of things that you are um, working on and doing to promote independent artists. And let's talk about that for a little while. You have something coming up today, right?
Yep, today, later this evening, post brunch experience, we have an event called Rhythms, Bites, and Booze that we do in Brooklyn at a venue called Whisk and Whiskey. Co-owned by two women of color. And we feature live performance from an independent artist. It's an acoustic performance. It's very intimate, lots of fun, great vibes. Today's performer is a young lady by the name of Marcel Pena. She is a Brazilian bossa nova artist
Mm,
she'll be performing. We've had performances. We do this once a month on the first Sunday of every month. So today we are in the first Sunday of June, so we will be there from 6 to 9 p.m. Admission is free. Whisk and Whiskey, by the way, for those who are in Brooklyn or in New York and want to go to Brooklyn and hang out with us, Whisk and Whiskey is at 259 4th Avenue, down the block from the Barclays Center. So it's pretty easy to get to. And we'll have a good time. And we've had a number of artists perform, from Carissa the Violin Diva. We've had Red Sahara. We've had Barry Antoine. So we've had some wonderful artists perform with us. And then we've just, I believe, just confirmed doing a summer happy hour that'll take place um, at Shrine World Music Venue in Harlem, um, between 133rd and 134th Street, and Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard. It will be an event from 5 to 8 p.m. This month for Black Music Month. It'll be June 22nd, and then it will happen in July on July 20th, and then August 17th, and that will feature our Rhythm and Soul Radio DJs, DJ Breeze, DJ Black Icon One, and others playing music that we share on the radio station during the happy hour, and people will be able to come and hang out outside, and one of our partners, Tristan Lee Cigars, will be there, and it's for the cigar smokers. You can have a cigar, then go inside and have a drink, courtesy of Den of Thieves whiskey and others. So it'll be a fun, summertime activity where we will, another way for us to feature music of the independent artists that we feature on rhythmandsoulradio.com.
Ah, beautiful. All right, y'all. So you'll have your summer activities that includes great music from Marko Noble's Rhythm and Soul Radio. So who can we expect to experience this month on Living Life in Joy? As I shared, Marko is curating Living Life in Joy for Black Music Month. So just give us a little, one or two people.
Well, I'll give you a little hint. So next week you will hear about an organization called Pie Fest, playing it forward. Eclectic Soul Tour, which is an organization that I happen to be on the board of. It is created by two incredible independent artists, Adina Nairi and Lorenda Robinson. Lorenda Robinson is the voice of Brown Baby Girl, and they have come together to create this charity organization that uses music to help organizations raise funds. And they do, live performances, throughout the region and really throughout the country. And so they'll be part of the show next week. That'll be the taste that I'll give for now. There are others that we will have throughout the month, that are doing wonderful things. Different artists from different backgrounds, male and female. That I'm looking forward to seeing how everybody gets to hear and see them. And experience, what they're doing, and know, some of the great stuff that's going on in the world.
Yeah, I was just recalling last June we had Steve Wallace, we
Hmm.
had Allison Williams, we
Yes.
had wonderful, wonderful artists. So stay tuned, y'all, because we're going to have a wonderful Black Music Month celebration here on Living Life in Joy. And I just want to shout out, Pamela is watching and she says, sounds so amazing. I want to go. So you can follow Marko on his social media at
On Instagram, the number one, Rhythm and Soul Radio. Our Facebook page is rhythmandsoulradio.com, and we have a Facebook group, which is Rhythm and Soul Radio. So again, on Instagram, it's the number one, Rhythm and Soul Radio. That's spelled all the way out. And then Facebook group is Rhythm and Soul Radio, and the Facebook page is rhythmandsoulradio.com.
all right, all right. You got it right here. And you can see it on his t-shirt, rhythmandsoulradio.com, all spelled out. All right. So Pamela is probably going to see you at one of these events. Maybe Pamela's going to meet up in Brooklyn today at 6 o'clock. So follow Marko. I will post the event that's happening today on my social media in case you missed it. So let's get into some joy news. Let's get into some joy questions and then some joy news. Okay. So Ron is just giving you a shout out. He said that is so awesome.
Thank
That's
you, Ron.
great. So getting lots of love from the peoples. All right. So 3 joy questions. And we did this last time, so I'm curious to see if your answers have changed at all. The first one is, what does joy feel or look like for you?
Joy feels and looks like um, music, freedom, happiness, and seeing people moved at an event.
Mm, okay. All right. I say that I'm living life in joy. What are you living life in?
Living life in music.
Living life in music. All right. Living life. I thought you was going to say living life in the rhythm, but you said living life in music. And third question is, what is your joy song and why?
Well, my joy song this time, because we are 2 days before the birthday of Prince. So this time, my joy song will be the Ballad of Dorothy Parker, which is one of my
Mm.
favorite, particularly the live version is one of my favorite live versions of any Prince song that he's done. So so that's the one I'm going to go with, and I was prepared to play it, but I realized we can't play it, so we won't. But if any of you get a chance to listen to the live version of Prince's "The Ballad of Dorothy Parker" from the One Night Alone experience, the after show is a particular CD. You know, really you'll enjoy that a lot.
Were we at that one?
We were at that one, yes.
Yes, yes, yes. We were at that one. Yes. I've had all of my Prince experiences have been with this man right here, with Marko. And so it's been wonderful. And I when you said it's Prince's birthday, that's another thing for us to celebrate for
Yes.
June. Another
Yep.
thing to celebrate for June. All right, honey. Thank you so much for being on the show. Here you
Thank
have
you.
Marko Nobles. Please check him out. Support his work at rhythmandsoulradio.com. Come tonight or the first Sunday of the month to, what are we
Whiskey,
calling?
whisk and whiskey. It's rhythms, bites, and booze at Whisk and Whiskey.
Whisk and Whiskey in Brooklyn. Check out his social media to get all the information there. Thank you so much, honey. I will see you later.
I'll see you soon.
Okay. All right, everybody. So that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed that. It's so wonderful to have my husband on the show. Thank you, Ron. He is a great husband and father. I appreciate the love. Yes, Pam. Appreciate all the love, y'all. Thank you for being with me. Please follow Rhythm and Soul Radio. Please support independent artists, independent music. So, just as a joy announcement, joy news, tomorrow, please join me for SIP with Rev Melissa, 10:30 a.m. You can check out SIP Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m., right where you're watching me now, and on my YouTube channel, I am Rev Melissa. So peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and justice. We are living life in joy. Yes, we are fully and completely connected to our yes.